Welcome to Bangla City SATV News. This is Nuri Alamin with the headlines. COP26 summit kicks off in Glasgow today. Emphasis is being laid on activation in Paris Agreement 2015. Prime Minister will address tonight. School students' vaccination campaign against COVID-19 began today. Health Minister and Education Minister inaugurate the program. Bangladesh seeks Russian investment in railway sector to improve services under a master plan, said Railway Minister. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina arrived in Glasgow, the port city of Scotland, on Sunday afternoon at 2:55 p.m. local time on a two-week visit to the United Kingdom and France to attend the COP26, the World Leader Summit and other high-level events. The Prime Minister will address the COP26 main event alongside taking part in its inaugural session today. Foreign Minister Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen, Environment, Forest and Climate Change Minister Mohammad Shahabuddin, State Minister for Foreign Affairs, and Mohammad Shahrir Alam, and also State Minister for Power, Energy and Mineral Resources, Nasrul Hamid, are accompanying the Prime Minister. She will also hand over the UNESCO Bangladesh and Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman International Prize for the Creative Economy at the UNESCO headquarters in Paris. The Prime Minister will return home on November 14. The campaign to vaccinate school students aged between 12 to 17 against COVID-19 began in Dhaka today. Health Minister Jahid Malik and Education Minister Deepu Moni inaugurated the vaccination campaign at Motijil Ideal School and College. Vaccination in 7 other centres in Dhaka is scheduled to start tomorrow. Initially, it was supposed to take place at 12 centres in the city, but the other 4 centres didn't get approval due to the lack of adequate facilities. The 7 other schools are Hadko International School, South Point School and College, Chittagong Grammar School, Dhaka Ideal School and College, Mirpur Commerce College, Kakuli High School and College, South Bridge School and College, and also Scholastic School. 30 lakh students will be vaccinated with Pfizer doses, and there are currently 70 lakh doses of the Pfizer vaccine in stock, said the Health Ministry. Besides this, 35 lakh more doses of Pfizer vaccine will arrive in the country by the November. Railway Minister Nurul Islam Shujon sought the Russian investment in Bangladesh railway sector. The minister also said this while Russian Ambassador Alexander Mantesky called on him at the railway Vabon in the city. He also said work on the different projects is underway and more projects will be taken soon for the improvement of railway services under a master plan. Government is procuring new coaches and engines, and new rail tracks are being constructed while the bridges are being constructed and renovated. However, Russian investment could invest in the sectors and establish a training institute jointly with Bangladesh, said the minister. A passenger boat sank in the Dhaka's Buriganga after being hit by the cargo ship. The bodies of the women and a child have been recovered in the incident, while the 2 more were missing. Some are managed to get up. The accident took place in the Fanghat area of Buriganga River on Monday morning. Police also said a boat carrying the 10 passengers were heading towards Karaniganj from the Fanghat area of Buriganga around 10:50 a.m. Upon the receiving the news, the divers of the fire service came and started searching into the river. However, police had detained the cargo ship responsible for the accident. Patao has appointed Fahim Ahmed as the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer for the digital service platform. The company said that Fahim, who has been serving as the Chief Financial Officer, will replace its co-founder Hussein Ilyas with immediate effect. Since mid-2020, Fahim, as the president of Patao, has been overseeing the day-to-day operations and executing the company's strategy to address the accelerating demand for the digital services during the pandemic. Viewers, we are taking a short break. Stay with Bangla City SATV News. Welcome back, and you are watching Bangla City SATV News. Now we move on to the international news. Leaders of the world's 20 biggest economies have agreed to tackle that critical and urgent threat for the climate change, but they angered activists by offering a few concrete commitments to limit the global warming. Wrapping up a summit in Rome, the leaders pledged to stop funding coal-fired power plants in the poor countries, but set no timetable for the phasing it out of the home. They agreed to cap the global rise in the temperature 1.5 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial average. But it made only a vague commitment to seek the carbon neutrality by around mid-century. This was the result of the days to the tough negotiations among the diplomats. But it leaves the huge work to be done at the broader United Nations, the COP26 Climate Summit. While the Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi and the French President Emmanuel Macron described the G20 as the success, the outcome disappointed the chief of the UN as well as the leaders of the United Kingdom. With mounting problems over the supply chains holding back the global economic recovery, US President Joe Biden held a summit on Sunday with his G20 counterpart in Rome, discussed ways to make pandemic hit supply chains more resilient amid the bottlenecks hampering the global economy. However, the leaders agreed to cooperate to strengthen the system and get supply chains moving again. He also added that ending the pandemic is the ultimate key to unlocking the disruptions, urging the action must be taken right now. Biden also said the vulnerability by the current system means there cannot be a return to business as usual and stressed the importance for the being prepared for the future. COVID-19 will not be the last health crisis. The US President, along with the leaders from the 14 other countries in the European Union, agreed to foster a greater international cooperation on near-term the supply chain disruptions. Halloween was no laughing matter in Japan as the 24-year-old man dressed as the Joker attacked the passengers on a Tokyo train line on Sunday, injuring the 17 people before he was arrested on the spot. Japan local media said a man in his 60s in critical condition after being stabbed, while the witnesses also say the attackers had spread fluid and the train started with a fire. Some of the passengers thought it was a Halloween stunt before seeing the capture and holding the bloody knife. Attack occurred on the Q Express line bound for the Shinjuku, the world's busiest railway station. As many as possible, the party goers were headed into the city center for the Halloween gatherings. Meanwhile, ahead of the COP26 climate summit in Scotland and the French branch of the Extinction Revolution Environment All Action Group held at the Halloween-themed protest in Paris. The protesters of the costumes and face paint gathered at the shopping center at the French capital, warning of the horrors. The climate change in actions, the protest came as the world leaders will hold the COP26 summit on Monday with the 2 days of the speeches that could include some new emissions-cutting pledges. Despite some forecasts, Japan's ruling Liberal Democratic Party may not lose its sole majority in the country's general election on Sunday. Actually, it performed much better than expected, with the party easily holding onto the more than half of the seats into the lower houses. Japan's ruling Liberal Democratic Party held on its majority on Sunday parliamentary elections, solidifying the Prime Minister Fumio Kishida's position. Initially, the exit poll suggested the LDP could lose its sole majority, but the result defied the expectation and the party remained control of the lower house. LDP won the 261 seats for the 465-member lower house of the parliament. Election was a test for the Kishida, who became the prime minister early end of the month, and his long-ruling Conservative Party, which has been slammed by the perceived of the mishandling of the pandemic. Nearly 400 migrants, including Bangladesh nationals, disembarked on Sunday from a Turkish-flagged cargo ship that Greece allowed to dock on its territory despite the charges that Turkey had violated to the migrant jail. The Migration Ministry said that 382 people disembarked from the ship, with the 6 of them detained for the questioning. Greek authorities who allowed it to dock at the southeastern adjacent island of the coast early on Sunday. The ship had sent a distress signal for the Friday after its engines failed on the international threat for the centers of Crete. The Greek Coast Guard said the migrants were transported to a reception center of the island while the health ministry experts put them the quarantine and tested them for the coronavirus. One of the largest mosaic panel of the world has finally been unveiled after $12 million in the years of the restoration of the Hisham's Palace of the Jericho on the occupied West Bank. The massive page was unveiled by the Palestinian Ministry of the Tourism and Antiquities. It was shown an unmade era piece with a 38 carpet-like mosaic panel covering a total number of 827 square meters to ensure the visitors can enjoy the site without the treading on its elevated platform were built. The ministry hopes the mosaic piece will increase the number of tourists in the Jericho. The ministry also said the dome was made out of the eco-friendly material which works as the insulator, able to maintain the temperature as a matter that preserved the mosaic floor. Trent Boult led an inspired bowling attack as New Zealand thrashed 2020 the World Cup favourite India by the 8 wickets on Sunday to leave the Virat Kohli's man facing a desperate struggle to reach the semi-final. Boult and leg spinner each Sodhi shared the 5 wickets between them to restrict India 110 for 7 after being invited to bat first in the Super 12 crash in Dubai. Skipper Ken Williamson and Daryl Mitchell, who made 49, put 72 runs for the second wicket as the Kiwis roamed home in the 14.3 overs and hand India in the second straight loss of the tournament. Before ending, we go through the Euro-Bangla City SATV News headlines again. COP26 summit kicks off in Glasgow today. Emphasis is being laid on activation on Paris Agreement 2015. Prime Minister will address tonight. School students' vaccination campaign against COVID-19 began today. Health Minister and Education Minister inaugurate the program. Bangladesh seeks Russian investment in railway sector to improve the services under a master plan, said the railway minister. You are up to date with the Euro-Bangla City SATV News, and to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.